good. Am I the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
How's it up there in Canada?
It's cold and kind of dreary. It's like rainy right now, I guess. It snowed yesterday, so.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, and where are you at?
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How are you from there? Have you been there a long time?
Yep.
Oh, that's
where
awesome.
Born and raised.
Awesome.
Yeah. So with Canada, what is Canada's like Thanksgiving like?
Canada's Thanksgiving, it's essentially the exact same thing as American Thanksgiving. I think they just do it earlier because the harvest is earlier.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
so like our weather's quite a bit colder here, obviously. So I think they just do it a month earlier just to, yeah.
So do you like hang out with your family and your grandparents and your cousins and uncles?
Typically, yeah. I mean, we moved a couple of years ago to Calgary, so we're like kind of on our own this year. We had a busy summer, so we just decided to stay home. So, but
nice. Yeah. Nice. Hello.
Hi.
How's your Thanksgiving?
What's that?
How's your Thanksgiving going?
Oh, I spent most of it sleeping.
Huh?
I spent most of it sleeping.
Okay. That's good.
Thank
Wow,
you.
Michael, you're all dressed up tonight. You're not even reading either. You came to my reading all like poorly dressed.
Than I did for my own reading.
Okay. Yeah, we got like professional people tonight.
I came dressed in theme.
Kirstie, when does your book come out?
November 15th. I just found that out.
Oh,
and
nice.
Is this the one that like, because I listened to your Dempsey and your Mallory interview. Is that the book that you were being interviewed for?
Yes. I had wanted to start a little press of my own, and I was going to use my book as like the one that I learned on. And then my life went absolutely sideways and I had to fold before I even started. It was like a failure to launch thing. And Jill wound up taking the book because she really believed in it and she wanted to start her imprint with House of Vlad. And it wound up being the best home for the book, like absolutely. And like they edited it so well. So I'm really proud of this version. Like my version was written to kind of like query for like a traditional publication kind of track, but I think that it works better as an indie release, and I think that I'm so proud of this version. I'm really excited about it. Thank you for asking. But yes, I saw that you were listening to the podcast, and I was like, oh, that's dated a little bit of hubris there.
That Mallory one with you, like that's one of the best like literary podcasts I've ever like heard. Like it's so
Absolutely. Good. Did you listen to the whole? Because we were yapping for 2 hours, like, and I could have kept going. I love talking about.
Yeah, like, but when you were like, as you were going, you were like getting hyped up, like more and more and more, and I was getting hyped up.
Good. Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Oh my goodness. I had so much fun recording that. I still think about that podcast. It was such a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Oh, no problem.
What a warm welcome.
I'm excited. I want to read that book. It sounds really good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm super proud of it. I was proud of my version, but it was very interesting editing with both Jill and Brian, because Jill really wanted to like keep the voices intact, and Brian took an axe to it, but still managed to do that. And so we came to like a happy medium where I was like, okay, this part doesn't sound like something I would write, or doesn't sound like I envision the voice. And he was really like receptive to when I came back with other edits. But he absolutely took an axe to it and like shortened it considerably, like chopped about 50 pages out of it. And I'm super proud of this version. I think it's gonna I think as an indie release it stands.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hey Jennifer, I saw that you were writing a novel.
I am actually. I'm gonna read from it today. I happen to have like a scene that takes place in a diner, so I was like, it kind of fits. So yeah, I'm gonna read from it today.
Badass.
That's so good for the theme. That fits very well.
It just ended up working out really well. It was kind of a great coincidence because I didn't really have anything else that would have fit the theme. So Kirstie, what are you reading today? Is it something themed?
Oh my God, I didn't know if I was gonna write anything because I'm coming off like a 2-week stretch of like working 3 jobs and I'm just exhausted, and I didn't know if I was gonna write anything, and I sat down about, I don't know, like an hour or so, or like an hour and a half before we started, and just like bang something. I'm actually pretty proud of it, and I wrote to
Amazing.
Steve, so I'm stoked to like read you my guy
I
Fieri
love
piece.
that. That's amazing.
It's a first draft. It might be dog shit, in all fairness. So like you guys can tell me, but
That's all
I
good.
wrote to theme. I'm very proud of that, and so I have like a had piece that kind of fits the theme, and then like this piece. So
That's
we'll see.
awesome.
Thanks.
With you guys living in Canada, is it like, does it affect the publishing of your books at all?
Like in what way?
Like, I don't know, like if you have like mail things back and forth.
Oh,
It's like-
mail is a nightmare. in
Mail,
Canada.
absolutely a nightmare. Yeah, that's like the biggest thing. It's like it's not even worth sending author copies from Canada, because like I'll do it, but like I'm gonna be out hundreds of dollars doing it is what's gonna happen. And like there's a postal strike on right now, so even
Oh,
and
and
I'm
the
for
second,
it.
the
I'm
second
for it.
in how many months, Kirstie?
Yes,
Like,
and like
yeah.
I'm for it. I'm pro union. I want the workers to like get what they want, but like it's going to be very interesting trying to like mail author copies from Canada. So that's probably the biggest thing. I don't know. I'm having more fun in American indie lit than I ever did in Can lit though. So this is the place to be.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey Jennifer, how's your Substack going?
It's okay. I mean, it's slowed down a little bit. The girls are off. We also have a school strike here, so the girls are off school right now, which is
Wait, there's a strike?
yeah. There's a teacher strike right now. The union's striking, so we're off for who knows how long. It's been a couple weeks now, and could be longer.
Is that common?
It's the first that since my girls have been in school, so I don't know how common it. I think it happened like maybe 20 years ago. Like it's not incredibly common, but it does happen. Our class sizes are huge right now, so it's needed, but it's a pain. So it's a little bit slow right now, but I'll get back to it once the girls are back at school. So
Kirstie, have you been through that before?
What? School
A
strikes?
strike? Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually part of a strike a couple of years ago. Like my union fully striked, and it was a massive strike because I work for the federal government. So like all the public service workers, and people fucking hated us for it because they think we're entitled. But like the reality of it is, I don't know, striking's harder than it seems like it would be. Like it's really physically tough. It was in the spring and the weather was bad, and you're kind of like out there trekking around for hours, and but like the wages aren't keeping pace with inflation, even for government workers. And so like it's been part of a larger, how do I say, my understanding is that unions have been kneecapped largely in the US. They're still fairly strong in Canada. And so like there's been a lot of strike action across the country in different industries. And I think that the one that I was a part of kind of set the tone for that. And so, like I said, I'm pro-union. I do freelance work writing for unions. Like I'm pro-worker always. And so, yeah, I have been part of it, and it's like a lot harder than it looks. So I always stand with workers. Like I think that's important. It's a big deal, especially like with precarious work and people not having like contracts and things they can rely on. It's just hard. It's hard out there. Even in like the public service, which should be like gold standard for like job security, it's not even all that secure. So like, yeah, it's been lots of strikes across the country in the last couple of years. I think it's pretty important. People are standing up for what they want.
Do you still feel like it's preferable though to live over in Canada than in the US?
Pardon?
Do you feel like it's still preferable to live in Canada over the US? I feel like it probably would be.
I love living in Canada.
Yeah.
I love being Canadian. I do. I also have lots of love for the US, and like I think Jennifer will agree with this. Like because you grow up next to an empire, it's like it has such a massive influence on culture here. And like I think that lots of Canadians have like a big soft spot for, well, like complicated relationship with the US, but like still soft spot for Americans. And like because so much of our population lives along the border, we all go over to the States fairly regularly. So like it's not as heartbreaking because we're not in the middle of it, but it's really heartbreaking to watch like shit fall apart over there. It's really fucking hard. So I'm not going to get political with everyone in the middle of a reading, like at the beginning of a reading, but it's I'm glad to be on this side of the border like always, but like it's really painful watching what's happening down south, and like I know that so many people like don't agree with it, and it's I don't know.
Yeah.
That's maybe not a good answer to that question, but
That was a great answer.
Claire, can I
Yeah.
jump in 2 hot seconds to say how good that jacket is? Your 70s jacket?
Thank you.
Like,
I was like,
suits you
do
so
I have
well.
to-
And I just thought I'd bring that up. Like on record, it's like recorded in history now how good that jacket is.
you were too sweet. Yeah, I've been looking for something like that for so many years.
Yeah, you really found the perfect one.
Nice and warm too.
Let people
Did
know
it
that.
get real cold where you are in the fall? Are you which Carolina are you in?
North.
North.
It gets cold. Nothing too crazy. I'm from Pittsburgh originally, and Pittsburgh's a little colder, I guess, but yeah, it snows and stuff.
Are you gonna like climb Mount Everest? I heard you're like an adventurer.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm a hiker.
Okay.
But I'm not anything crazy. Like
No.
I wouldn't do Mount Everest or anything. Okay, he's still having trouble with the link. I'm gonna send him what worked for me. Let's see if that works.
OZH?
I see Burial Mag Editor in the
I'm here.
yeah.
Yeah, I had the wrong link in my calendar.
My
Apologies.
bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
It's always something. Always something happens. Okay, I think everyone's here, right? Yeah. All right, tonight we're doing a reading. The theme is Guy Fieri. So there you go. So let's start off with Claire. Claire Hopple is from Pennsylvania, but she lives in Asheville. Writer. All right, let's go, Claire.
Thank you. Thanks for having me and this amazing lineup. I mean, I'm just so honored to be with these folks, to be with all of you. I thought I would read a story called Tag that was originally published in Wigleaf, and it's loosely related to the theme in that it's like partially set in a diner that might be on Mr. Fieri's show, perhaps. Look, we're in a real mess. This is how it all starts. Our father was living another life nobody knew about. You could say he had a taste for danger. He understood what it felt like to be a killer, even though he's technically never killed anyone before. Like, if we tell you we see the deer in our backyard, you don't know if we're talking about one or multiples, unless you're right there with us. He used the word wife in a similar fashion. Listen, let's make something clear. He's been like this all along. He's thought of himself as a big shot ever since he set records in the VSIT reach on the presidential physical fitness test back in grade school. Medically speaking, he really is better than everyone. And he's been using people indiscriminately for his own purposes ever since. Now it appears as if he's gone into hiding, but really he's drawing up plans, establishing a perimeter, and keeping a lookout, all while living inside a combination laser tag and paintball center. He's completely unburdened except for the violence of spattered neon. So that's the situation. Upon hearing the news, his original wife, aka our mother, ended their marriage in the former smoking section of a regionally successful chain restaurant. When she confronted him about his double life, he shrugged and said, "It's just one of those things." He knew he was pushing it, but after licking his pie plate clean, he added, "One single life is no place to live," as if he were talking about the suburbs of Dallas, Texas. That restaurant does bake really good pies. We can't blame him for that part. She shook out her folded napkin like she was waving a white flag. There's no denying they'd been having problems. You don't need us to spell it out for you. Him drawing a chalk outline of his missing candy bar on the kitchen counter, among other incidents, had already pickled their relationship. Snacks can save your life, but they can also be a weapon. However, that stunt did impress her a little. She felt moved by the chalk outline in a way that she shouldn't have. "I've got an important meeting," she said, sliding along the vinyl booth while holding her container of leftovers. She thwarted his shouted directives by jumping into her getaway car and scooting over back roads until she reached a farmhouse beside a small potato patch, never to be seen again. For all we know, she's since dedicated her life to the tuber. We're still gathering facts here. Meanwhile, he went to the store and ended up staring at a woman's net bag of groceries, the kind that somehow stays together despite its many holes, thinking this must be what it means to hold on loosely but not let go. What does he care? He has everyday lasers. Take a look around. We already are. But those lasers don't work on us. We were promised ponies, and now we're researching how to have ordinary conversations with humans while we're underneath black lights, behind fake brick walls made of foam. We have a bad track record with small talk. His bonus wife found out about his double life while she was performing brain surgery. Her assistant broke the news upon peeling back the patient's bone flap. Enough with this story. It's nothing special. His interpersonal dealings no longer matter. We're all used to this sort of thing from him and everyone else. Yet there he is, consulting with a paintball gun at great length, hoping it will help him understand what it all means. He's only just becoming aware that guns are a poor substitute for control, even if they're paintball guns. The gun tells him to get on a plane, any plane, and so he does. The pilot says this short flight over the intercom as part of the whole spiel, but to our father it sounds like this short life. He thinks the pilot must be one of those philosophy majors who was forced to reevaluate after graduation and start all over again. From the evidence that'll eventually pile up, we'll learn that our father will illegally change his name every single year, taking over a different person's life at the same time. Depending on the year, he'll replace a CEO, pastor, doctor, mayor, even a postmaster general, and nobody will be able to tell the difference. But who knows whether he'll actually have people fooled, or whether these people won't care enough to notice the change, or whether there really is any difference between them at all. Regardless, he will go on existing. He will get away with it. All of it. Everything. Whatever you want it to be. Here comes. Thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome. I'm gonna ask ZH, how did you feel about the story? What do you think of?
I thought it was wonderful. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. That was great. Thank you.
How about you, Eric? What do you think?
I love that part. We were promised ponies. Just a banger. Awesome.
Yeah, I like the gun part. Like it's a poor thing for control. When did you start writing that?
When?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It's all a blur. Maybe like a year ago or so.
Cool. Can you just like knock these out real quick?
Usually I just like have a running list of bullet points in a notebook and might write a story once every few months.
How many bullet points do you need to get before you start one?
It's more like how many pages in this tiny notebook before my brain is like too small to digest all of it at once. It's like this really small notebook, so it's like if I get to 6 full pages, I know I better start writing something or I'm gonna be too overwhelmed.
And like, do the bullet points? Do you like when you start the story? Do you go in order that the bullet points are, or?
No, I'm like really bad with pacing and plot, and so I make little note cards out of the bullet points and then arrange them in order. So I kind of slow myself down and am intentional about the order of things.
Yeah, you were talking about that on Dempsey's podcast. Yeah, did you get that? Where did you get that idea from? Is that because I've heard that movie people do that?
Really?
Yeah.
I have no idea where it came from. I mean, I've been writing silly little stories for like, well, since I was a child, but submitting for like 16 years now. So I like don't remember where I started some of these habits, but now they're just kind of locked in.
I still don't know what I'm gonna read, so I'm gonna. Do you want a really dirty story?
Give me the Oklahoma story.
I just don't know the way it's written. I don't know if it's a good reading story, unfortunately. Like it's very in fragments, but I'll do it. I'll do it. I just
Okay.
don't know if it's the best one for this, but with that caveat, here goes nothing. This is called Go-Go Plata, and it will be published soon. I'm training to win. Also, I'm training to train. It's the structure. Slithering downstairs each morning before Bub wakes up. He wouldn't understand. Doesn't. And who needs him also? And anyway, someday soon I'll be able to kick his ass. My technique being almost there. He'll start chipping in for rent again after that, I think. The sunlight here this morning's like fog today. Handsome, blinding sheet. Each night, I stare at lights moving unnaturally through the black sky. No clue what they could be up to, but they are kind enough to never abandon the view from my window, much like the Volvo dealer planted to the dirt beneath them, though that guy you can see in the day. Oklahoma set aside tax credits specifically for television productions filmed in front of a live studio audience. It's a novel tax credit. We have to stay competitive, said Lieutenant Governor Pinnell. Now the Cherokee Nation's in on it too. They peddle their own incentives and even built a bleeding-edge soundstage plus adjacent phantasmagorical post-production facility up in Owasso. I was present as a holy man blessed the editing suite. This little boom brought me here. Now I'm a script supervisor / sometime AD for a sitcom shooting in OKC in the former convention center, converted now into studio space. Weekends, I head up to Owasso, a bit outside Tulsa, helping a celebrated North Macedonian painter of landscapes, mostly landscapes, shoot an independent film, her feature directorial debut on the Cherokee's soundstage. She raised herself a budget from grants federal and tribal. The whole script takes place in a classroom, so she only needs the one set. Basically, it's film theater, she'd said, so my sitcom work comes in handy for it. Most weeks, I work about 90 hours plus 10 more of uncompensated driving, which barely seems possible. Chugging the new Gatorade water, which is water, not Gatorade, outside amber waves of pain. Inside there's my octagon of choice. Their neon gym sign is out. GY it reads, and it blinks. Guy. Eric gets me into a Go-Go Plata immediately. There's discomfort, but not displeasure. I got gas. My Elantra's fuel gauge no longer upset with me. It beeps, ceasing, but then I miss the beeping. Bub is all American in the sense that he's from America. His parents are from America, and probably all their parents are too. I haven't looked into it, and neither has he. I found him on Facebook in the OKC/Tulsa Queer Housing and Paraphernalia Exchange. It felt like I always knew him on account of his caps lock posting and thirst traps snapped, Vaseline anointed onto webcam lens from inside his dirty childhood room. Bub works nights at an arcade, and in the day, following around this non-religiously veiled woman, A Mesta Park man, the recipient of a novel people-following tax credit, pays him to do that for cloudy reasons we like to speculate over until we get bored with the speculating. Bub finds his work stimulating, the following work if not the arcade work, and reserves his salary for leisure, not housing. Ain't so bad, he says, and the veiled woman will share her beer, because, like I said, he says, she's not religious in that way. It's a fashion, which is political, not religious. I guess sometimes those intersect, but not with her. He's up early one morning, the shit-eater. I ask him if he'd ever step into the octagon with me before his bi-daily, as in every other day, woman following. I'll pass, Mr. Movies, he says. I can take you anytime. Don't need a shape on the ground for that. It's got walls, too, I say. It's lined with nets, like what they put up when a stone temple's crumbling, like an archaeological site. Like I said, he says. Along I-44 at the northern outskirts of Oklahoma County, I see a UFO, the jolly airborne disc hovering low enough to be in Oklahoma County, because at one point the sky gets so high that it's no longer Oklahoma County up there, which was decided by some sort of decree. The UFO leaves me alone. It has, I suppose, come in peace, and now it's gone. The landscape painter wants to sleep with me. I haven't known a woman in years. 3 years. You should know, I tell her, that I don't know what I'm doing. And who does? Who cares? It's a substandard idea, I tell her. You're my boss, my employer. That's what makes it electric, she says. It's the taboo. Electric, I repeat. Taboo, she says, self-echolating. And now she's throwing her hands up in the air, gesticulating passionately like some starlet, like she's posing for a sketch. Sketched by herself? In a pose for all posterity. Or at least for some gift shops. I let her get me drunk. I don't put out, but I do oblige her request to burp me. We sit up on the bed. She leans in as if for a sitting hug. She puts her hand on my shoulder and swats away at my back. Swatting, she says, I hope you like this. Always wanted to try this. I want to meet her in the octagon, but cannot draw the nerve to ask. I do manage to belt. Visit to a friend I haven't seen in some time. Okay, a lover, formerly, much older than me. I don't do that so much anymore. Meet at Oklahoma's first Sweet Green, just a catty corner from the bombing memorial. Wow, it's expensive, he says at the counter, but he still pays for me. You working on that sitcom, he asks when we sit down? What's it about? An oil rig, right? For now. You still painting? For now. Arthritis ain't so bad yet. Though it seems to pain him to fork up the victuals of his harvest bowl. I don't know when or if I'll see him again in this life. The OKC Thunder moved down into third place. I am not amused. I have come here to live, so they must perform for me, if not for the people who have always been here. I flip through the channels, onto TCM, Frank Tashlin's film Susan Slept Here, with Dick Powell and Debbie Reynolds. I'm transfixed delightfully for 80-something minutes, the will to live in me restored. I recommend the movie to all who still breathe. Each morning, I do however many push-ups I feel like. The number I choose is how old I feel that day. Today, I'm feeling 17 and a half. Ring, ring, ring. Hi, Dad. How's Las Cruces? Warm. How's Sammy? My sister. She's dead. She died real young. He talks to the urn. He keeps it in a high chair at the kitchen table. Dining room table being uninhabitable, covered in stained books and his student screenplays. He taught at NMSU, doesn't anymore. Tell her I said hi. I shall, he says. Eric shows me a move of his own invention. He calls it the Daishu chokehold. He says Daishu is the Chinese for kangaroo. He says it while I'm in the hold. My confident neck, it claps within the fuzzy chasm of his calves. He gets too into it and I pass out. I awaken to Strawberry Blonde Cody, the second most influential figure from Amber Waves of Pain's storied echelon of assistant managers, in my face. He tells me, 1, he's banned Eric from Amber Waves of Pain, and 2, wants to go out for ice cream when this shift ends. I say yes, so he won't snap my arms off or ban me from the property. Honestly, we have a pleasant time. We don't get so physical or anything, but do I see a date number 2 in our future? My dream movie, MMA fighters, political intrigue, Malikian invocations of nature, and let my dad write it. Let him have one last go at it. And hey, when he dies, I get the money, right? And he gets to Sammy. This is a week where I drink more real meal replacing goo than water. I bring Bub as my +1 to the landscape painter's friends and family screening in the big theater at Circle Cinema. I thought this was for your sitcom, he says, as we sidestep through the aisles, searching for our names on the reserve signs, taking in the artistic crowd surrounding us. I inform him that the state legislature has canceled the sitcom. For political reasons, he asks. I guess. It was a business decision, not a cultural one. The show was witty, but still, no one was tuning in. It is what it is. Now Taylor Sheridan gets the incentive instead. Okay, that's good, says Bub. They all agreed. That's good. That's the process. They didn't all agree, I say, but most of them did. That is the process. Messy or no, says Bub. Politics. We slide into our seats, resting against our freshly inky names. Lights dim. Darkness. 135 minutes later, and Bub's decided he hates the movie. I kind of do too. We both boo when my name appears in the credits, in between the animal trainers, and a special thanks to all my sagacious friends back in the Republic of North Macedonia. On the way home, Bub asks me for sex, and I say no, and then I say maybe, and then I say, give me some quiet to think about it, won't you? Bub asleep, sound of sleep, of course. Nothing will happen tonight. I kiss him on his chapped lips, tenderly and unproblematically. Then steal his bottle of Chateau de Bruel. It's not the VSOP. He doesn't have VSOP money. Replacing the crane game prizes at the Quail Springs Mall Round 1 is not the profession for VSOP money. But it's Bub's profession half the time. Following that woman around pays even worse. The hooch hits, nonetheless. Thinks I don't know where he keeps it, does he? Keeps it in his gun safe under the bed, which is never locked. He owns no firearms. It's merely for show in case one of the old queens he brings home, mostly of the crust punk variety in these parts, gets a little too unruly. He can gesture towards the safe, towards the imaginary weapons inside. This has happened before a couple times now. And I'll know about it too, because these walls in here, let's just say I believe them to have been paper mache'd on. I sip and then I pull. I stare out the window, stare into the plum-colored night. No lights tonight other than that deep humming blue of the Volvo sign. Abduct me, biatches, and let me film inside your vessel if you don't mind. Think they've got an octagon on the mothership? Take me there, please. I can show off some moves. You'll love it. Conduct some demos, sparring with Eric, with Strawberry Blonde Cody, all the other hunks at Amber Wave of Pain. If that doesn't sell them on it. Next day, Taylor Sheridan's office calls, wanting to know if I'd ever assistant-directed Cattle. I have not, I say, but I'm a quick study, and I do so very much love animals. I'm grateful for work. Be grateful for work. Be grateful for work. Can you have a taste for moonshine without ever having tasted moonshine? You can't, but I do. Or have I tasted it? Because Bub enjoys it and tastes of it sometimes, and I taste it on him. Does this count? I stick the pointed end of a wet, twisted towel down my throat to help me quit thinking of today and yesterday and the smell of manure. Golden time pay for Mr. Sheridan today and yesterday. Now both hands back on the pleather of the steering wheel. Would you eat at my bar and grill concept, Hollywood's Moonshine? Or Moonshine's Hollywood? I haven't decided on the name. Crane game in the waiting area. Bub keeps it stocked, bursting. On I-35, a bright white barn owl races beside me and the Elantra. Broad daylight, but there she is. Let's call our race a draw. Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
I took down some notes. I like the character like longing to be taken away from aliens, because like if you live out here in Oklahoma, you kind of have this like longing to be taken away by like a mysterious like entity and to get out of here somewhat. And also, when you said like going out for ice cream, I think you should put Brahms, because Brahms is a big ice cream place here.
Thank you. That's what I need to know.
And they do like UFC style fights in like a lot of the casinos around here, like Hard Rock Casino and stuff like that.
Good to know. Okay. Thank you.
But yeah, was excellent. Does anyone have anything they'd like to add? Like Eric or Claire? or Kirstie?
I want to know if it has a home somewhere yet. If it's like been published.
It is. I'm waiting for notes. It's going to be in this new magazine called Haskell Industries, I
Oh,
guess.
Haskell. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Who runs
Jillian,
that?
that is an amazing thing what you said. Thank you.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. I was talking to you and Jillian at the same time in the comments. I'm sorry. I wasn't.
No, that's okay. Okay.
I understood.
Okay.
No, really. I appreciated the fragmentation that you were concerned about reading. I thought that's what worked for it the most. All these little anecdotes. It was very lovely.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
That didn't even read like fragmentary to me. Like it read like a thorough line.
I was just thoroughly entertained. I mean, the sexual burping, that really
Yeah.
did me in. I was laughing out loud. So thank you for sharing that one.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And it will be in print, so probably most people won't read it. So this is this was cool. Thank you so much. I really, Tyler, thank you. And those are awesome. That's awesome Oklahoma intel too. So
Oh, no problem.
because
Yeah, I think Dempsey agreed about proms.
Thank
So
you, Zach. Just amazing, man. Electric.
thank you.
Great as usual.
I appreciate it. Really.
who runs Hassel Industries?
I've like asked around because I was curious about that, and I have not gotten a straight answer. I think
Ooh.
it is a guy named Haskell.
Oh, cool. So when did you start writing this? How long has it been since you did?
I wrote this like a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
I think, and it's been through like 2 significant revisions, I would say.
What keeps you like sticking to the process of writing it? And have you ever like stopped writing it and then you return to it?
I've done that before. This one was more like I had a longer version, and then an editor rejected it and told me to cut it down.
What?
And then
Oh,
I cut it down and like to make it shorter. And then I made it shorter. And then I tried shopping the shorter version around, but I kind of like the longer version better. And I should have listened to myself, I guess, about that. And then and then the Haskell Industries guy, what he was like, I guess their thing was like, we're only going to give you a yes or a no. And that pissed people off. But honestly, that's so much better than the mags that just don't reject you, that just ignore you. So I was like, sure. But he didn't give me a yes or a no. He gave me like a maybe. And it was like, I really love this, but I don't know if it's quite working for me. And then like he kind of listed reasons of why. And I was like, well, look, there's a longer version of this piece that was kind of the one that I think will address a lot of what you are not into about it. And then I sent him, he let me send a longer, older version, and then he accepted that, which was cool. Yeah, so I don't know. I just if I like something myself, I just kind of will keep fiddling with it. There's a point where I will be like, fuck this. But this one I enjoyed a lot. So I was like, no, I think there's a lot of people in like indie lit or whatever who are like, I send my shit to 3 places, that's it. And if they don't like it, goes on the shelf forever. But that's not really my mentality. If I like something, I will fucking send it to 40 places like an idiot. And this was one of those basically. So it gets to be in print, so I'm happy. But yeah.
oh shit, that's cool. Dempsey, did you want to add something? See there? I saw the little dots pop up. Well, if anyone wants to add anything, we will continue otherwise.
Thank you all. I really appreciate it.
All right, dope. Thank you. All right, let's continue on to Jennifer. Jennifer is from Canada in the frozen plains where it recently snowed, and it is Thanksgiving down there. She's a fiction writer, I believe. and has a Substack and reviews books. And didn't you interview? I think you interviewed Jillian.
I did, yeah. Yeah, she was great.
Nice.
Her novel is amazing.
Thank you.
It was like one of my favorites this year. So everybody go read Jillian's novel.
Would you like to begin, Jennifer?
Sure, yeah.
All right.
All right. So this is from my unpublished novel. Yeah, it's just a scene. Two kids escaped from an institution, and they've been picked up, and that's kind of where we're starting. So we drive for a while along a desolate stretch of highway. The roadside is littered with detritus, and the cracked pavement seems to stretch on forever. Cassie is leaning against the window. Her chin sits perched on her crossed arms as the warm air licks her hair into a fury of flames. The scenery is mostly farmland, intersected by long rows of trees to break the wind, and dotted here and there with bleak-looking farmsteads and disintegrating outbuildings. Occasionally, there's a sign of habitation, a roadside gas station or a dusty sign pointing out an exit to a crumbling town that no one in their right mind wants to go to, and none of the inhabitants will ever leave. The woman's name is Ruth. I know this thanks to... Oh, shoot. Sorry. Sorry, my husband set this up for me and something's just wrong with it. I'm like missing a page. Oh, shit.
Is it like in a Word document?
Yeah, my husband just set it up on his computer so it was just easier to read. And the way he set it up is like different than I would normally read it. It's like page by page. I'm not very tech savvy. No, something's wrong with it. Okay, so I'm just gonna read off my phone. Sorry, guys.
That's all right. It happens.
No, that's... All right, sorry, guys. So the woman's name is Ruth. I know this thanks to the bird, a parrot I learn, who periodically screeches it in my ear, followed by the words, "Hurry up, woman." Ruth explains to us with amusement that the bird isn't a fan of traveling but can't be left alone for more than a few hours or it'll start to pluck out all of its chest feathers. "You kids from around here?" I reply too quickly and it comes out sounding unnatural and forced. "We're from upstate, Watkins Glen." It's the first town that comes to mind, so I blurt it out without even considering that I've actually never been there and really know nothing about the place. I hope she doesn't start asking me questions. She catches my eye in the rearview mirror. The giant glasses on her thin face make her look like some kind of blue-haired alien from one of those old double-feature science fiction films. I can't see her eyes to tell if she's caught on that she's picked up two crazies. "Where are you two headed?" We haven't talked about what we'd say if someone asked questions, but Cassie is sharp. "I got a cousin in Kansas City. She's just had her first baby. We're headed there for a visit. How about you?" The woman glances back at me again. She turns down the dial on the radio and clears her throat. "Me? I'm from Syracuse. Just headed to see my new fiance in Toledo." Cassie looks impressed. "Hey, congrats. This your first kick at the can?" "Oh no, not by a long shot." The car gives a lurch to the side and I look behind me through the rear view window to see we've just narrowly missed hitting something. By the mass of black fur and rust-stained pavement, it looks to be some sort of long-dead roadkill. "He'll be my fourth husband. We met on a cruise back in December, she says with a giggle. I was already married, so I had to get rid of my husband first, of course. Got rid of him real quick, didn't we, Crackers? She makes a few kissy faces in the mirror, and the bird bobs his head affirmative and shrieks with manic enthusiasm. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking a woman like me is too old to be starting over, but let me tell you, my husband was a real pain in the arse. I don't regret getting rid of him, not one iota. It was worth all the trouble and then some. Me and Crackers here, we decided it was good riddance, Tom. Ain't that right, Crackers? The bird flaps its wings and screeches, good riddance, Tom. We pull into a gas station. It's got one pump, a mechanic's garage, and a diner attached. The diner windows are so grimy you can hardly see through to the inside. A painted sign reads, best burgers in town, except there's no town in sight, and it's the only restaurant I've seen for miles. You kids eat yet? I haven't eaten lunch. I'd like to stop for a burger if that's all right with you. Cassie looks back at me and I shrug. It's not like we have anywhere to be. Sure, that's fine by me. We sidle into a peeling red vinyl booth, Cassie and me on one side, Ruth across from us. The interior of the diner is as grimy as the exterior. The whine of a hood fan fills the small space with an incessant whir, but it must not be working properly because a sticky film of grease clings to all the fixtures, and the restaurant air has a thick, hazy sort of quality, like the seaside at dawn. A 30-something waitress with the kind of big beehive hair that went out of style a decade ago, and stainless steel pin that proclaims her name to be Candy in bold black letters, comes over and slaps 3 menus on the table. What do you want to drink? Ruth sets her sunglasses on the table, then holds the menu at a distance and looks it over with a squint. I think maybe I'll just have a coffee. Cola, for me, please. Cassie, who seems thrilled to be out in the real world again, smiles too cheerfully at the girl. This earns her an eye roll. Make that 2. I wonder if the waitress has heard me, because I'm not even finished speaking, and she's already shuffling back to the counter. She pops into the back through a pair of half-saloon doors and chats up a young cook who's leaning casually against the cooler with his arms crossed over his stained white shirt. She doesn't seem to be in too much of a hurry to get back with our drinks. I can make out the back of the TV through the kitchen pass-through and can just catch the NBC News sounder over the whir of the hood fan. Maybe it's just because I'm feeling uneasy, but it seems like we've been waiting way too long for our drinks, given that we're the only customers in the joint. Eventually, the waitress pops her head out and gives us an uneasy once-over. A few moments later, she's dropping her drinks into the table with a nervous look. I try to shrug it off. Maybe she's just having a tough day. Or maybe this is standard service for a podunk diner attached to a gas station in the middle of nowhere. She extracts a pen and pad from her apron and cocks her head to the side. So, what can I get ya? Ruth slides her menu across the table. I'll have the burger. Make mine rare. The woman gives an apprehensive glance back towards the kitchen and makes a scribble on her pad. Sure thing. And you two? Not comfortable enough with the level of hygiene in the joint to order a burger, I decide to play it safe. I'll just have an order of fries, please. Cassie leans forward and throws her menu down with gusto. She doesn't seem to notice the shift in the waitress's demeanor. I will have a key lime pie. Ruth pours a half-gallon of sugar into her coffee and gives it a stir. She looks between the two of us with curiosity. I don't see any rings. You two plan on getting married someday? An involuntary snort sends the burn of cola through my nostrils. I look to Cassie for help while I try my best not to spit my drink all over the table. Cassie gives her head a casual shake. Us? Nah, we're just friends. I got a guy already, lives in California. I plan to go back and see him soon. Her smile is deliriously happy as she relays this information to Ruth. There's a tightening sensation in my chest, a weight pressing on my organs, attempting to crush my insides. Young love, boy do I remember that feeling. You'd cross an ocean to get to them, and then you feel like you're on top of the moon. That is, until you realize what a dirty, rotten scoundrel they really are. She gives a wag of one knobby finger. And the harder you fall for them, the worse they'll treat you too. That's why a girl's got to learn to take care of herself. I'm not too sure she's far off in her assessment. Most of the married men I know are cads, each one with their own particular poison. Women, violence, drink, gambling. My dad's was other women. I'd even caught him trying to feel up my mom's younger sister in the hallway once after Christmas dinner. My mom could never satisfy his insatiable need for attention and admiration. Not that she didn't try her damnedest. Her efforts amounted to pouring water into a bucket filled with holes. When he bothered to pay attention to my mom at all, aside from the times he'd criticize and belittle her, it was always a protection, something he did to show other people what a decent family guy he was. But what about your new guy? Doesn't he treat you well? Oh, sure he does now. They all do for a while, but just give it a few years and I'm sure I'll have to trade this one in too. She shrugs and gives her pale blue hair a pat. I only keep men so long as they're useful. The second they turn lecherous or nasty, they're gonzo. I don't put up with none of that. A girl's got to look out for number one, you see. Oh, sure, I get it. Ruth glances around the restaurant, then rises from the booth, purse in hand. Excuse me for just a moment. I've got to make a trip to the powder room. The waitress is eyeing us from across the room, peering anxiously over the top of the cash register while she absently sorts through receipts. The atmosphere in the place feels too tense. I've got a funny feeling something is up. I lean towards Cassie and whisper, Hey, have you noticed the waitress seems a bit weird? She keeps looking over at us. She looks real nervous about something. Cassie swishes her cola around with her straw, sending up a flurry of tiny bubbles. What would she be nervous about? Relax, she can't possibly know we're escaped loonies. I don't know. I heard the news on the TV. I couldn't make out what they were talking about. Maybe they had something posted on the news about our escape. I start to wonder if it's possible I don't just have a delusional disorder. Hell, maybe I'm becoming full-blown paranoid too. Nah, it's not like we're dangerous offenders or something. And besides, they don't usually report missing persons till they're gone for a full 24 hours. I look at the waitress who's wringing her hands and has started pacing behind the counter, and then back to Cassie with skepticism. It's true. I saw it on 60 Minutes once. They wouldn't have something up on the news already, she says with assurance. I'm not so sure the same reporting standards apply to escaped mental patients as regular missing persons. I lean back in the booth and scratch the scab on my arm, a nervous habit that's led to an oozing skin infection. I realize with some dismay that I've forgotten to bring my ointment. The waitress comes by to drop our meals off. Her demeanor is jumpy and the plates at the melamine tabletop with clatter, which seems to startle the waitress just as much as it does me because she doesn't even ask if we need anything else before hurrying back behind the counter. I can't shake the feeling that something is off. The fries are overcooked and the pie is a gelatinous blob, but it tastes better than what they serve in the mess hall, so we both scarf them back with relish. I finish my 2 crispy fries and look over at Ruth's blood-sodden burger and realize it's been some time since Ruth left the table. I pop my head up and look around the restaurant for her, but she's nowhere in sight. Maybe she's gone outside to check on her bird. I look back out the window over my shoulder to where we parked the car, and my stomach lurches. The car's gone. I give Cassie a nudge and direct her attention out the window to the empty lot. Cassie's cheerful expression crumples into a knot of confusion. But where'd she go? Beats me. Why would she have taken off like that before eating her meal? Something isn't right. We'll need to decide what to do fast. I pull the wad of cash from my pocket and throw down a $10 bill. Come on, I think we should just get the hell out of here. Cassie grabs her bag and flings it over her shoulder and then slides over the booth. I think maybe you're right. Let's go. My heart thuds in my ears as we make our way to the door. I feel a surge of adrenaline when the waitress calls out after us. Hey! I push at the handle hard, flinging the door wide. Hey, mister! Don't you want your change? Bursting out into the hazy mid-afternoon sunlight, a shout behind me. No thanks. Keep it.
Thank you. That was excellent. CH, do you have a comment on it?
Oh, Jen has shared some of this. I've heard her read it in person, and I have helped get a part of it out into the world, and I just am so happy to hear more and more of it, and just you read it so well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, just a pleasure, seriously.
How long have you been working on this?
I finished it about 1.5 years ago and just kind of like have been sitting on it. I haven't really done anything with it. So yeah, it took me about 8 months to write, I think.
Oh, wow. Cool,
Can you
cool.
give us like a rundown of what it's about? Like I know like loosely it's about 2 people that like escape from like mental ward, but like can you just give us like a rundown? Like,
Yeah,
your
for
elevator
sure.
pitch,
For
I guess?
sure. So it's about these 2 kind of like young adults, I guess. They one has it's called body integrity identity disorder, where he believes his arm doesn't really belong to him. And the girl She suffers from something called erotomania, where she believes that this guy is sending her messages through Rolling Stone magazine. The guy is like a cult leader, and she's in love with him, and he believes he's the reincarnation of Rasputin. So they escape from the mental institution and hitchhike out to California to go find this cult. And yeah, it's kind of just like about their journey and what happens. And yeah.
I like that was a very good elevator pitch.
Oh, thank you.
I want to see this come into the world.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
CH, you said you've heard it read before.
No, not the specific part, but she read a
A
part
different,
of it
yeah.
in AWP offsite Beyond the Last Estate that I was also in. Jillian was also a part of.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Jillian, did you have any thoughts on this?
Yes. I just said, yes, let's bring it into the world. First of all, I have to agree about the way that you read. There's a specific tone in your voice. It's almost like you're hearkening the past. And I don't know when this story takes place.
It's in the 70s.
Yep, okay. So not only did you capture that in like the different characters, like the waitress and Ruth, but I could tell by the tone you were using in your voice and the way that you had constructed the dialogue that this was either the 60s or the 70s. So I mean, you nailed it. And yes,
Okay.
I've heard Jennifer read this at AWP, another part of this, and I really look forward to it being in the world. I love anything about cults. Yes, Alexandra. Yeah, the transatlantic vibes. Totally. That's what Ruth had.
Alexandra,
Jill.
you want to speak to this?
Sorry?
I was asking Alexandra if she wants
Oh,
to
sorry.
speak to this, if she can get her mic to work. Well,
Hold on. Okay, I think I'm on.
there
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah, I really loved it. I would totally read the rest of this, and I hope it comes out in the world soon.
Thank you.
And anything cult related, I also love. So
What's y'all's favorite cults?
Well, I'll go. So I don't have a favorite cult, but kind of I've taken, like, I've borrowed some elements from like the People's Temple cult for the book. So it kind of follows some similar kind of, I don't know, principles as the People's Temple cult, which was kind of a crazy. Yeah.
Do you find any cult alluring? Do you think you could be like allured into one? Because I feel like I could be, if like given the right circumstances. I feel like I could easily fall into one.
I feel like under the, like, I'm not really susceptible to like kind of cult like behavior, but I feel like under like the wrong circumstances, I could maybe become a cult leader. I know that's
Oh,
really
yeah?
weird. That's really weird to say, but like I feel like I don't know. I
Should
feel
go
like
for
that's
it.
a weird thing to say, but
Are there like cults in Canada? I bet there are.
there are, yeah, absolutely there are. Lots of religious cults, quite a few actually.
Are there any hockey-based
Maple
ones?
Leafs fandom.
What was that?
Sorry?
Kirstie?
Toronto Maple Leafs fandom.
Right, yeah.
I say that as a Leafs fan. I say that as a wholehearted part of Leafs Nation.
Are there really hockey cults? I bet there are.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Twitter hockey fans are nuts. The girls and the gays are the best part of sports fandom, I'm convinced, online. So,
Is there a women's hockey league?
yeah,
Okay, cool.
PWHL.
Nice. So do you guys want to continue, or do you want to take a quick intermission? All right, let's continue on. Next up, we got JL Moultrie's published in Hobart, I believe, and some other magazines that I forget the names of right now. Oh yeah, also post pop. Right? There you go. Let me unpin Jennifer and then we'll get There we go. JL, can you unmute yourself? It won't let me unmute people.
I'm here. I'm here.
There we go.
Hey,
How you
everybody.
doing, man?
Oh, I'm good, man. A lot of writing and had this reading, so I'm in a good creative space right now.
Oh, also you're from Detroit. You live in Detroit.
Yeah, yep. From Detroit, born and raised here.
Beautiful place.
Yeah. Have you guys ever tried the DIA? People who've come here? The Detroit Institute of Art. It's a great museum downtown. It's beautiful. Got a lot of Van Gogh. They had a Van Gogh exhibit like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a great place.
You ready to begin?
Yeah.
I don't know, rush.
I'm going to be reading 4 pieces, 3 poems, and a micro.
Cool.
Okay, this first one is titled Cardinals or a Note Before Immolation and was published in Burial Magazine recently. Thank you, Zach. I'm hanging from a wire, a censure only encountered in mirrors, feet of clay, sudden distances which stay, the grand pain of barely knowing where you're going, the pinions frayed, my attention caved, standing in line in the shelter, rays of warmth entered my face, didn't know they'd penetrate me so deeply. Keep me, I want to say, with all of me seeping whence I came. Here's the second one. It was published in Expat recently. It's titled My Body's a Single Tangled Cord or Once Moon Shaped. Thanks, everybody. Waded through karma and symbols I can't pretend to bear. A single blush inward, subtle forms of repair. Mine's a hushed room filled to the brim, ran from who I was, wary of redacted again. You spoke of patterns and the intent of the universe, how invention's a line drawn from thirst. I didn't tell you I was nearly aborted, or stole food because I couldn't afford it. The sky, the only sky that could be seen was deep vermilion, anterior hidden. Who are we when unperceived? Intimacies vexed from places you wouldn't believe. I wasn't prepared to realize this was goodbye. Numb to the inheritance I've become, didn't hear my therapist over the violent hum. You spoke of nights when salvation may actually come. My inner child's bleary-eyed and heavily guarded, the nights inside wear blood-slick armor. A lurid will guided me to the doorsteps of strangers, still vivid, subsisted on not being seen. Neighborhood cats bore witness to cycles of danger. Pockets deep but empty, picked up 10 speeds from lawns. Hadn't seen dawn all summer. The questions came in forms of escape. Spoken ate at churches, my conscious mind was flesh made whole. Became enmeshed with whomever I met. Beset by intentions like an ocean open yet forbidden. Mom woke early to go to the clinic. Dad was given sentence. I was suspended. The sounds of sirens in a subconscious I let go of in mosh pits. Like a feral wing, rudders splitting a water surface. In February, the furnace wasn't working. ER nurses gave me a tray of breakfast. Feeling returned to my hands, the common frailty of heavy fetters. Those parts of me starved from an abrupt end, stir from dormancy. Okay, this next one was published in Citywide Lunch. It's the micro. It's titled, When Your Face Was an Eternal Beam of Light. The ocean felt within arm's reach from the passenger seat of your mother's truck. A blur of cypresses lined the South Carolina coast amid streams large and small. You'd always sensed that you contained multitudes. The spring you turned 20, you finally split in two. When you were discharged from the psych ward, your mood disorder suddenly plateaued. Hesitation marks lined your left arm as the intake specialist searched for healthy veins to invade. Your mom called you sweet enough for motherhood, but too easy for marriage. You blacked out and awakened to ocean waves clashing like wild packs of dogs. Okay, and this last one was published in Leavings magazine last summer. It's really short and sweet. Well, maybe not so sweet. It's short. It's called Tendril. The door in my hand masked 1,000-yard stairs. The exposed veil bent toward alchemy. A violent side, the other half of me. Elusive, effusively pleading for the preservation of parts not there. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
That was great. Paul
Thank you.
Clark, do you have any comments on that? Or anyone else who would like to chime in? Alexandra, would you like to say something? I'm just calling on random people.
I'm just gonna say it's like such a pleasure to hear you read. It looks like you've been on a real heater lately, so like what a pleasure to be reading alongside you and like, wow, I'm not a poet, so like I don't have anything really substantive in terms of like feedback or anything, but just
Oh, you're okay. Thank you so much, Kirstie.
like
It means a
knockout.
lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
CH, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, the way you read I mean, I'm gonna just repeat stuff, I guess, but like, yeah, it's just I was so surprised by how you read some of the poems in the best way. It just made me look at them differently. Your cadence was different than than it was in my head, in like the best way, not in a bad way, like in a way that made me go, just across such a small patch of space, you just do so much, and there's so many ways to look at it. It's just, I was blown away by that. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, thank you so much, Zach and Kirstie. Really appreciate all the support, and Tyler for inviting me, throwing us together on the fly, and so happy to be part of the community.
Oh, no problem. You're fairly new to me. I think my first instance of you was when you appeared in Post Pop. How long
Yeah.
have you been writing?
About maybe since 2010.
Oh, wow.
So a long time. And I started writing poetry after I was going through a lot and, growing up. And I didn't take it serious for a while. And I was scared to send my stuff in to magazines. I think the first magazine I sent something to was ZZ. I can't remember the whole name of it. ZZYZZ. They're a print-only magazine, and they gave me good feedback, so I just kept writing and sending stuff in, bad poetry, and everything. It works out, just keep writing, keep trying.
Did
I think I
Wallace?
was
Okay. Did Wallace from Post Pop reach out to you?
Yeah, he sent me a DM and requested some poems. Yep. was really nice of him.
Was he? Are you guys friends?
No, I just know him from Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really cool. And
You rap, Jill?
do I rap?
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy because I started out like battle rapping
Mhm.
in a forum,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
MTV forum. That's where I started. Like,
Amazing.
I guess that's where you could say it began. Where I had this username, the Renegade, and that's as close to rapping as I got, though.
Okay.
But I
Yeah,
do love hip hop, rap music.
Yeah, I see you post about it on occasion, but
Yeah.
yeah, that second poem, you probably didn't even notice that I put in the chat bars because you're probably so in
no, I
it.
didn't
But
see it. Thank
but yeah,
you.
man, like it's funny, a poem that rhymes, and it wasn't even like the whole thing was rhyming or whatever, but rhyming can either like set a poem at the very bottom shelf and just sort of be very trite and boring or predictable or whatever, but it also has the capability of like sitting you up straight, if
Yeah.
you start realizing like, holy shit, like they're doing this within the confines of a stricture,
Right.
but they're still communicating these lofty ideas. And yeah, they were like, it throws the entire work to me anyways, it like sets it amongst really great rap and hip hop. And that's
awesome.
what I was thinking about when you were reading.
Yeah.
And like a couple of lines really stood out. Forgive me, I'm super tired, but like something like struggling through redacted again. Whatever that line was hit really fucking hard, and then the lines of hesitation marked my arm. Like, yeah, just really solid shit, man. Good job.
Oh, thank you so much, Tyler. Yeah, I grew up during that time. I was like 17 and I got my GED, but I was listening to a lot of like Illmatic and Nas and Reasonable Doubt. That was my introduction to hip hop, So I always appreciate a good organic rhyme, like slanted rhyme, and I don't want it to feel forced, or I try not to make it feel forced. Maybe it does, but I try to make it as organic as possible. Thank you. Yep.
Also, I wanted to ask you what contemporary poets do you like right now?
Salma Sharif is the one that pops to my mind. She's an Iranian poet. She made Look and Customs. And who else? Diaz. Post-colonial love poem. I've been reading that. Natalie Diaz, I think that's her name. And Jenny Z is really good. But I mostly read classics. I've been trying to get out of that. Like Sylvia Plath and all the great poets out there.
All right. Well, thank you. I think we'll continue on to Kirstie Mackenzie, who runs Major 7th magazine, the mixtape literary magazine. She has a book coming out next month with House of Vlad, as many people do here at this reading. Thank you for joining us, Kirstie. She appeared on Mallory Smart's podcast, Textual Healing, and Tyler Dempsey's podcast, Another Fucking Writing Podcast.
Yeah.
And she also interviewed him too, and interviewed Mallory.
And Mel too. Yeah, because who's going to interview the interviewers? That's important.
When is your podcast coming out?
My podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'd love to do a podcast. I just I don't have the time. I work a lot, but I love yapping with people, and I'm so curious. I want to ask people a million questions always. So, oh, thanks, Tyler. I appreciate that. And Jill. And very important that it's coming out with House of Vlad, but also Sweet Trash Press, which is the imprint, which Jill is running with Brian's help. So, yes, very important to know that. That's a tough act to follow. Holy moly, Rocky. Okay. I'm gonna read you two pieces. Both like prose. One of them's kind of a monologue that like fits the Guy Fieri theme, and the other one's like specifically written for this reading. It's a first draft. It might be dog shit. I'm sorry. I do my best for you. And I'm gonna try and like rock through it because I don't want to bore anyone. So away we go, I guess. First one is it was written for Had. It was my first skull, and it's called You Crown Paul Schaefer's Head with Mustard. I don't know if you know Paul Schaefer. He was the band leader for Letterman, and he's the most famous man from my hometown, and this is the weirdest way we ever honored him. Here we go. I says to the guy, in my hometown there's an alley. In the alley there's a hot dog stand. Gourmet, they call it. Real fuck-me-up menu. Peanut butter and pickles and chocolate and bananas and bacon and cheesies and blueberries and ceviche. Every unholy thing. You want it bald? Order a Paul Schaefer. That's the ticket, I says. Hometown, hot dog famous. Sure, you could be Letterman, all booze and blackmail, sex scandals, Al-Qaeda death threats, park that existential crisis of a beard on Netflix and call it a comeback. Textbook celebrity shit. Takes a real man to be king of New York. You want to flex? Tell him you run the world's most dangerous band and mean it. Try being that hard, I says. Just try. See, Schaefer stays in his lane. Same wife, 2 kids, 20 pairs of sunglasses. You and me hit the Whole Foods and Matsuda's, amateur hour. Couple of half-baked Horatio Canes choking one-liners in the checkout like some who's screaming CSI cold open. Fuck out of here. Schaefer, though, earn that sunglasses shit. Go write It's Raining Men and get back to me. Hometown hot dog famous means all the perks of fame, none of the hassle. No pap stalking Paul while he takes a shit at Starbucks. Tabloids don't fuck with Schaefer, but everyone else does. You think you got influence? 24.2 thousand followers on the gram? Let's see you get Bill Murray to feed Jenny Lewis tequila and duet Fairy Tale in New York. Let's see you shade Questlove's tweets. Sit down, I says. You can't step to the guy. He'll go already fucking. Spinal Tap, Polymer Records, corner Schaefer in Hell's Kitchen, and he'll gut you one too. Like, do me a favor. Just kick my ass, okay? Kick this ass for a man, that's all. Kick my ass. Enjoy. Come on. I'm not asking. I'm telling with this. Kick my ass. What now, asshole? This is what I'm saying. Schaefer could fucking bury you. Could, I says, but won't. Too busy cutting contest ribbons at Nathan's Famous on the 4th of July, probably. Franchising stands all over the 5 boroughs if he's smart. A lot of money in hot dogs, but I don't need to tell you. I just figure it should be, you know, synonymous. Like if I go to see the Yankees and order a Paul Schaefer. Bald dog for the ball game. But maybe one day he's there, right? VIP box and the concessions guy goes up and says, excuse me, Mr. Schaefer, there's someone asking for you from your hometown. And Schaefer goes with the bit because he's a legend, because he's hard as fuck. Schaefer shuffles down among the mortals and taps my shoulder, and we're on the Jumbotron, laughing, smiling, slapping backs, and the concessions guy's got this tray of stinking condiments. Schaefer tilts his sunnies and says, anything but the sauerkraut, kid. So I grab the mustard and wreath his head in Heinz. Because that's what you do, I says, for the king of New York. Look, lady, says the guy. You crown him, I says. There's a lineup, says the guy. Just thought you'd know what a Paul Schaefer is all, says the guy. Or just thought you'd know what a Paul Schaefer is all, I says. One bald dog, says the guy, coming right up. Oh no, I says. Give me every unholy thing you got. That's the first one. And so second one is written specifically for this. Thank you for the prompt. It was a lot of fun to write. And thank you for the love. I appreciate that. I hope you like that. That is my favorite one to perform. I'm trying to perfect it. Yeah, so this one's called Creature Comfort. I wanted to imagine a bit of Guy Fieri lore. I don't know if any of this is like true to his background or not. I didn't have enough time to do research. I made it all up. So here we go. It's called Creature Comfort. Yeah, I remember him. Loudest guy on the line. He always looked like that, you know. The hair, the goatee, the chains, rings on while he cooked, even when he put his hands on the food. The Sioux used to scream at him for it, and he'd just go, my bad, chef, my bad. We worked a Michelin star joint back in the day. People don't know this, but the guy goes toe-to-toe with anyone in any kitchen around the world. You'd assume he'd be a personality hire, like the guy that's kind of a dog shit player but real good in the locker room. But no, Mr. Positivity can throw down. Chef used to get on his case because his uniform was always untucked, or he wore sunglasses, like not even on top of his head, right on his nose. But Guy was the best cook we had, and he knew it. First to clock in, last to leave. Can't say shit. Guy and I used to take smoke breaks out back and watch the fancy diners go in and out. Guy smokes his cigarettes real weird, pinched between 3 fingers like he's got a roach. He'd exhale into the wind and gesture real big with the cigarette. These people, he'd say, fucking snobs. I'd shrug. They confront all they want, he'd say. Braised this, flambéed that. He'd point at a woman dolled in heels and a fur coat. What she wants, no, hombre, what she needs is a big, fat, greasy one, he'd say. And I'm not talking about your dick. Guy used to talk shit like this. I've seen him plate something like a Fleur Burger 5000 and thumb his fucking nose at it. The Wagyu, the foie gras, the black truffle doesn't mean shit to Guy. He once put a Kraft single on the burger to fuck with Chef and got suspended without pay for a week. Guy smiled real big, thanked Chef for the vacation, and went on a bender so legendary they still talk about it back of house. Somebody said something about a Mexican donkey show, but don't listen to that. People love to add these, I don't know, details, like a bad game of telephone. Let him talk, hombre, he'd said. Don't matter a lick to me. He said that, sure, but I knew it bothered him. He was sweet on one of the waitresses. Now, everyone was sweet on Rebecca, but Guy especially. We'd clock out and go to this greasy spoon off strip and drink black coffee and pick at cold fries, and Guy would say, geez, how about that girl? You know she 86'd a regular for grabbing her ass tonight? Guy's a big spender, too. Class all the way, that Rebecca. I'd watch him blow a month's worth of tips on 3 fingers of Macallan Lalique 57 just to sit and talk to her. Parked on that bar stool, kitchen clogs swinging beneath him like a little boy. He was so happy just to be in her orbit, man. Guy's as pure heart as they come, but he never had a shot with Rebecca. She was dating some club owner, real slick piece of shit. But that didn't stop Guy from trying. Didn't stop any of us, really. The owner had this policy of only hiring stone-cold 10s for front of house, and if it was a house of 10s, Rebecca was a 12 at least. Lots of the girls weren't impressed with the cooks, but they did have a soft spot for Guy because he'd bring them little bites when they were hungover. Lobster mac and cheese and chicken tacos and good old-fashioned cheeseburgers with some kind of sauce they swore cured everything that ailed you. He never told any of us what was in it. Guys used to joke that he'd jerk off in it, but that's cooks for you, sick fucks. Love, hombres, he'd say, smiling real big. The secret ingredient should always be love. You're laughing, but he's just like that. You know, you've seen it. He believed in the underdogs, always. He'd pick the most dog shit guy on the line and take him under his wing. Give him a bullshit nickname, shout him out at staff meals, get him fucked up at parties. He'd have the girls from front of house plant little kisses on the cheeks of losers and nerds and virgins who'd sniffed more dish pit fumes than pussy. He was nice, is what I'm saying. That shit's not an act. If you're an underdog or an oddball, he's your biggest fan. Rebecca took her 15 one day and watched him chirp a guy's prep work, real bad Jillian job, and leaned into my ear. She smelled like vanilla and cardamom. That guy will be the best cook within 6 months, she said. You think? I asked. Guy knows how to pick 'em, she said. Sure enough. That's the thing about being around Guy. He makes you better. You want to do better for him. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Kitchens are no different than anywhere else. Get a couple bad apples, guys with shit attitudes or coke problems, and they'll tank the ship. Somebody like Guy, well, rising tides lift all boats, I think the saying is. We were proud to know him even then, before the TV deals, before the big red convertible, before Flavortown. Guy's always been Guy, and everyone could use a Guy on the line. That doesn't mean life doesn't get a brother down, though. I remember one night the club owner came to visit Rebecca on shift, and they got in a real big fight right in the middle of the restaurant. Left her in tears. Her manager was pissed, which made her even more upset. Guy caught wind of it and spent the rest of the shift fuming over his station, barking orders and slamming things into sinks and sending dishes back if they weren't perfect. I dragged him outside for a smoke break. We stood, hands in pockets, watching traffic pass under the neon explosion of the strip. She's better than this place, he'd say. You know she's studying to be a therapist? No shit, I said. That's the thing, he said, waving his hand at the strip. This place is an illusion, man. You're all better than it. The stars, the 5 courses, the French brigade, the beating heart of the country's in the messiest fucking kitchen you can imagine, hombre. Mess, I said, right. Not mess, but like, he said, straining for the words, authenticity, man. Creature comfort. That's all we really want. The rest is just nonsense. Like don't overthink it, you know? He was talking about food, but really, I think he meant something else. Like maybe what he could have been to her had she given him a chance. Years later, I'd turn on my TV and see him in diners across America working that underdog magic, the grease dripping from his fingers, cheering him on like he does. And I wondered, I guess I hoped that maybe he'd found someone to cheer him on too. Not a Rebecca, but someone like her. Because everyone deserves that, you know? Like maybe he found someone to call while he was on the road between the dives, someone who figured out what was in his special sauce after all, because the road isn't like a kitchen. A TV crew isn't like the line, and it's gotta be a lonely fucking drive looking for Flavortown and never really finding it. Thank you.
Holy fuck, that was incredible.
Thanks. It was a lot of fun to read. I was just like banging it out. It took me maybe an hour and a half. I was like, I think this will do.
Do you think editing a magazine like helps you write over time? Because you have to read so much.
I think that it exposes me to a lot more than I'd otherwise read. And I think what it helps you do is kind of refine that like sense for like the je ne sais quoi of a piece. Because when you're reading, like I will say Major Seventh is a really small magazine comparative to a lot of other ones out there. I'm not growing it super fast because I don't have the capacity or the energy or the time. It's found its little niche audience, but like it just means that my inbox is like a little bit slower than other people's. But when I do have the time to read, I only accept like micros, like there's 750 words or less. And then like I tend to just kind of whip through them. You get a really fast instinct for what you like and for what kind of resonates. And you might not always know it, but like it's there typically right away. Like there's not very often where I'll kind of linger over a piece and hesitate. And so I think it helps with the writing in the way that like if that's not there, if it doesn't, I guess my thing with writing in this particular environment, like for a digital environment, for online lit, it's like best practices of digital writing apply not only to like your day job stuff, like lots of us are probably copywriters. And when you're writing for a digital environment, you're like, you have 2 seconds to get someone's attention. And when you have it, you better fucking keep it. And so what you develop a sense for both writing and reading is, can you get someone's attention and can you keep it? And you can use any variety of cheap tricks to do it. My cheapest trick is voice or like some kind of crazy fucking title that just like gets people's attention and hooks them in. And then by then I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a banger opening line. I'm going to try and make it weird or funny or something or sexy at the beginning. And then you draw them in and then you can kind of build from there. But like, I think what writing and reading in the digital environment helps you do is refine storytelling so you can meet a reader where they're at, because very often they're on the other end being like, I'm on my phone in between appointments or in between meetings. I'm on my phone on the subway. I'm on my phone. Like, you know, like they don't have a ton of time either. So like make it worth it. Meet them where they're at. I think it's what it's like. So that would be my answer to that.
Holy shit, that was a great answer.
Well, thank you. I think about it a lot.
Does anyone have anything they'd like to add to this great reading?
Yeah, fire away. Let me
It
know.
was fantastic.
Thank you.
Kirstie. Like the chat was saying, I don't know if you saw it. It should get published right now. Or
Oh,
it's
if anyone wants to take it, by all means. I have no idea where to begin submitting a Guy Fieri story, but like, I don't know. Yeah.
I think ZH wants to take it.
Actually, I'll send it to you right now. I was trying to figure out what to send Burial today, like before this. So like, if you want it,
send it.
Oh, for real? Okay, cool. Yes, absolutely. You heard it here first, man.
Do it. Yeah, I want to read this like through carefully. So do it. Yeah, I'd like to see it up somewhere.
Oh,
That'd be so awesome. This was so funny, Kirstie. You're one of my favorites. You're so funny.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. And yeah, Zach, if you decide you don't want to take it after having read it through, like, no hard feelings, by all means.
I'd be pretty surprised I don't think you realize how much we were freaking out in the chat over that reading. It was just
Oh no, I really wasn't, because like I was on my other screen and it was like grayed out, and so I could kind of see stuff bumping up, but I couldn't read it, and I was like, I don't want to get I don't want to get
so
distracted.
good for real.
So thank you, I appreciate
And
that. I'm trying to
everybody
get better
else.
at reading, because I believe in that same sort of like, if you're gonna get someone's attention, keep it. Because I've been in I think a lot about, like when I was in university, it was just ages ago now, but like I think a lot about professors and stuff being in front of the class and like having all the attention in the world, and then just like sleeping through their lectures, and I was just like, man, you got a whole platform, just like use it. So yeah, I always just kind of figured if I get up in front of people, like make it worth their while. So I
And
feel
Dempsey said in the chat that he used one of your stories for a workshop.
that's lovely. Tell me which.
So I've only done 2 workshops ever in my life, because I don't even really know what I'm doing. I didn't go to school for writing or anything.
Maybe
but,
nobody does. Oh my god.
yeah. So I've done it twice just in libraries, like my local library in a small place, and I wanted to like give it as an offering to small communities, because I grew up in one, and I just know that this shit doesn't exist. And like everything you were describing about catching a person's attention, micro focus, and that kind of like ethos of writing, like toward an audience, a very specific now audience, has been like what I have used also as a guiding light in my own writing. But yeah, so I did this workshop on voice, and as again everyone was populating the chat, and you were too engrossed in what you were doing to recognize like I think you're one of the masters at it currently within the scene. And so I did your had story, and then I don't know if this one might be not as on people's minds as maybe it was like 8 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever. But Megan Pillow, she wrote that story we all know about, Margot. It was in Smoke Long like a while back. And then there was this James Tad Adcock's story in X-Ray called An Essay on Bigness. Like if y'all haven't read these 3 things and like studied them and reread them, check out all of those stories. But anyways, yeah, so I gave a workshop and made people read your story, because I think it's great.
This had story?
Yeah.
Oh wow, thank you. That's so kind. I really appreciate that. Thank you
Of
for
course.
telling me that. That's
I
like,
love it so much. Yeah.
it means a lot, and it's so much fun to perform, and I had so much fun writing it. Like I think we all have this experience of like dredging up all your feels for like your like sad stuff, right? That's like, it's a lot of the time when you're writing stuff, it's working through sad stuff. And so whenever you run across something that's like a joy to write, you're like, yeah, give me that feeling. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So like this was a joyful one to write. And
Yeah,
so,
it shares that energy, and that's
good.
part of what I like so much about it. But yeah,
Good,
great
thanks.
job. Loved the second one so much too. It's amazing.
Oh, I appreciate that. I was like really bought into my version of God. I was like, I don't know if any of this is true, but it's true in my mind.
It's better than in reality. So
Yeah.
I think we'll continue, because it's like hitting 10 o'clock for like people out there. Some people, Alexandra, you want to go? Alexandra has a book coming out. It's out right now by House of Lad. We will continue on. Sorry to like cut everyone off.
Hi, I'm in my bathroom because I don't want to wake up my baby. She might hear my voice, and she freaks out if she can hear me and I'm not holding her. So I'm gonna read a few books or a few poems from here. I'm kind of mad that I have to follow you and your amazing stories. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep your attention, but I hope I can. This is called Fog looks extra alpha with palm trees. I miss California with a whole like opera in my septum. It reminds me of being born. Instead of leaving mom and dad's for a South African defense contractor who found rent control between startup bubbles, I wish I had fallen in love with a wannabe actor in the sexier spread. Fog looks extra alpha with palm trees, really underlines the whole dystopian thing. Founders fled to Austin, anywhere they considered immune to homelessness, hiking up housing prices, with a plague of spent pupa trailing behind, a splintered mess for those who can't afford to be capricious, to sweep up and make best with. Promises wince unfulfilled. It's a long story, but I left too. After relinquishing the stability of a $1,200 three-bedroom apartment at Golden Gate and Masonic, 4 years with a war profiteer was enough. So I opened my arms again to Death City, brought to us by Doomed Future. Is this an art project, an advertisement for a film, or a general warning? I grew up here, home of the shiesty fashion accessory, Zoo Gang on Instagram. It's got that sick shine. Nobody does it better. Perception shaped my caution. I keep my eyes peeled for 20s balled up in sidewalk cracks, splattered pigeons in alleyways, dog shit anywhere you can step. Money, fame, celebrity. Okay, and they're all phony to me. I'm tired of loudly proclaiming my underdog status anytime I walk into a room. Tired of drivers blowing through stop signs and red lights with speed of service reserved for Jason Statham movies. I should have been an actor. I should have had a plan. You're only hot when you're hot. And mom and dad wanted me to go to college because neither of them did. And I am trapped in other people's image. So now I'm a poet, writing another ode to nowhere. My hazy sky is never as blue as memory. This is called Verging on Sacrilege. I just want to be hot and have no thoughts. I just want you to see my opalescent goodness and forget the things I've already forgiven myself for. I just want Google Drive to be my only social media. I just want to feel driven again and learn how to drive. I used to think I don't exist if I'm not being watched, that I stop existing when you stop watching me. Do you see through the mist? The distillation of my soul when I ask you to give witness to my slow unraveling, to my show where I'm not self-conscious about retying my sneaker when the bow gets loose while running on the treadmill, where I'm not worried about the man running next to me and what he might think if he sees. Are you that person who will sit with me on the couch, make jokes about the medical procedural we're binging, and let me use your lines in my next piece? You have 30 seconds to live. Okay, bye. Will you accept my confession? Rub holy water on my forehead? Bless me with a bump from your knife? Will you accept communion for my split legs? Kiss my hip or call it sacrilege? I'm not trying to make sad, sexy Catholicism hip again. I'll deal with something being wrong for the rest of my life. It's written in my bones. It's ringing from the bells. This is called Hoverboard. Pour the poison directly into my mouth. I'm breathing up to hear it. Imagine me washing dishes for the Lord, wearing your mother's nightgown. It's been 2 decades since we went under the Brooklyn Bridge, where I watched you for 3 hours perfecting a rail grind while your friend filmed for the Sunday team. Spent a whole summer in my room playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater with the sound off. Beat the UFO level blasting Pinkerton. Andrew Reynolds, I liked him the best. If I could be the Lana Del Rey of poetic performance art, I think that would be enough. My cancellations are street cred. Do you want to hear another first world problem? Keep reading, King. You don't have a choice. I never know when to stop exposing myself. Steadfast keeper of secrets except my own. Have her over me while I rinse blissful, finger in my staleness. The worst part of longing is leaning more than I spill, and acetate distorting all the details. Okay. I think I'm gonna just read two more. This is called Land of Confusion After Genesis. I don't want to go out. I want to watch television. I want to be desired, but I'd rather rewatch Dexter. I keep passing out during Grey's Anatomy. Escape trumps escapism, but it's abridged edging. Rest curdles and odd froth, stewing screams, oversewn eyes slinking forced seductions. Nebulous forms unsate my dreams, thornier than reality's brain rot premium. In sooth, everyone else is cooler on the internet. Apply a heavy slathering of cringe and pray. Flirt back, what's your at? Having fun, carefree. The viewer clicks away, jaundiced, so chalant. Too many men, too many problems. We live in the hands we're given. Every media outlet is embarrassing in 2025. Graveyard shifts at the imperialist filleting factory. This was a hard watch. Loved it. Thanks. You're going in the manifesto with AI mewing. This is called Rewatching the John Lithgow season. Just think, right now, you and I are pooping under the same moon. Thank you.
Oh, that was fucking fantastic. That's a genius poem.
Thank you.
Anyone have anything to add? That was really great. You have like 20 people, like everyone like relating. What brings you back to keep writing poetry? Like, why the form?
It's just fun. I don't know. Like, I feel like I really like writing fiction. It's just so much harder. Poetry is like kind of just like I'm just fucking around. And I don't know. I think people who write poetry, it's like one of those things that like you just, I don't know. I just do it. Like I'll get like a little line that gets stuck in my head and I'll have to write it down, or like it becomes like just like something that I'm just playing with like all day, just like thinking about. I get really distracted and I just like think about some weird shit that like I want to just, I don't know, it's like a little tiny world to explore in. And I just, I guess I watch a lot of TV, so like I write about TV like a lot. I don't know, I like fiction is so hard. I like really want to like be a better fiction writer, but it's like it requires a lot of time and space, and I don't really have that right now. So like I just write poetry, but I love poetry. I don't know, it's fun.
But your words are so powerful, and just the fucking around, you know. I think just fucking around, like, people relate, so much harder to that than something quote unquote like serious, you know?
Yeah, I think, yeah, like a lot of poems are like, or like, I don't know, I think a lot of people have this very strange idea of what poetry is. And all the poetry that I like is just like people just fucking around.
But I don't want to like throw all the fiction writers under the bus by saying that, because I feel like the fiction writers here, they found a way to do fiction but fuck around in their own
No,
way.
for sure.
Yeah.
And that's like, yeah, I really like, I've wanted to like submit to HAD for a long time, but like I just, everyone who does it, like they know exactly what they're doing. They're like getting in and out real quick with like a short story or like a little vision of a scene, and it's so perfect. And I don't know, like I want to be able to do something like that, but I don't think I'm ready.
I have a question for any of the fiction writers. Do you wish that you could do something like Alexandra?
Do I have a question for any of the fiction writers?
Yeah, like Kirstie or Jennifer or
I guess
Jillian.
just like how you said you wrote that in like 90 minutes. Your Guy Fieri piece.
Yeah, it was about that.
That's insane. It's so crazy to me.
But like, how do I put this? Stuff like that for me is like doing push-ups. It's like grunt work, kind of like the sit me down to write a poem, and I'm like, like, yeah. I think that the difference is, if you'll allow me, you as a fiction writer in like the micro age, you have to learn to be very economical, and poets have been economical since the start. Like, your economy personified. And so I think that taking very big worlds and distilling them into poetry and then making it stylized and really visceral, that's a skill I don't have. Yeah, absolutely. I wish I could do that. It's not my wheelhouse. So I'm admiring it from across the like, and I agree. You were talking about that kind of like fucking around bit of poetry for you. You were with House of Vlad, that's right? Your book?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I just read Brian Allen Ellis's books recently, and he's very much emblematic of that, like, kind of fuck around with it and writing about TV and pop culture and things like that. It makes total sense that he'd pick up your work for the same reasons. Like, I think that that's such a perfect fit. And you're absolutely right. I love poetry that's just kind of like fuck around and find out a little bit. But yes, to answer your question, Tyler, absolutely. I wish I could. I wish I had that skill. I do not. So it's mutual admiration, baby.
Nice. Okay, I think we'll continue on to our last reader, Jillian, who has written Scumbag Summer for House of Vlad. And has started an imprint.
Yes.
Is publishing Kirstie.
And I'm publishing Kirstie. Can I just say, I keep falling asleep during Grey's Anatomy is now my new like spiritual affirmation. I hope not to make any of you fall asleep. I'm switching it up. I'm not reading from, oh, good night, Eric. Oh, wait. Oh, Tyler. Sorry. I'm not going to read from Scumbag Summer.
Ooh.
Oh, I know. Curveball. I am going to read from actually a nonfiction piece that was published in Hobart like a year ago, I think, because it felt more adjacent to the theme. And it's called The Choke and Puke. And I'm actually going to not read the whole thing because I know we're at 10:15, but I found a good place for us to start. So this is The Choke and Puke. I've never had the pleasure of eating at a Golden Corral. Sometimes I pass them on the interstate and think, ah, yes, buffets, those relics of obscene beauty. But I've never entertained the idea of loading up my plate inside one. I had a high school boyfriend whose absent father treated him to a random lunch there once or twice. Afterwards, he'd show up at my place full of disappointment, and the things he guessed were vegan from the salad bar. Therefore, my impressions of this establishment are bleak and redolent of bad dads everywhere. Greedy assholes who want the biggest, juiciest bang for their buck, no matter what virulent strain of bacteria might befall them and their unhappy families. I pictured everything lit down like dusk, except the food, sick glowing under the cook lights. So I'm downright mystified when my father suggests this as our only serious dinner option, his way to remind me not all hope is lost, to risk our refined palates, to risk his gourmand reputation for copious helpings of seafood sunbathing in silver trays. The self-professed foodie, the well-known prankster, the man that won't step foot inside an Olive Garden is not jesting when he says the Golden Corral has a solid meat carving station and a decent dessert selection. And what to make of Dad's off-color nickname, the choke and puke, his unkind reference to Golden Corral patrons gorging themselves to the point of spewing the microwave contents of their gluttony all over the bathroom stalls. Does he consider himself a fellow choke and puker, or does he set himself apart as a far more disciplined diner? Is this a way of maintaining his food snobbery while conceding that there are instances when even the most avid watcher of the Food Network prioritizes mere convenience over culinary satisfaction? The new addition to my father's curated rotation of local eateries is dumbfounding, an irrefutable sign that he's aging. He's acquiescing in ways that seem minor but are deeply significant. He's giving up and giving away the best parts of himself because he's tired and older than he'd like to be. I don't think about dying, but I do fear complacency. I fear choosing something out of comfort or because it's pragmatically sound, because it's easier. What's easy usually just relaxes us closer to our inevitable demise. The Golden Corral is a roadside beacon chastening the commercial business landscape with its familiar color scheme. Its facade is faux wood siding in egg custard yellow, adorned with rooster red trim. It's a barnyard of bounty, but we're the animals. We're the ones allowed to roost and graze and frolic, to pretend our own psychic slaughter isn't happening to us slowly and incrementally, day by day. Golden Corral's whole shtick is rooted in the American values of faith and tradition. Faith that our hearts won't give out with that one last plate of prime rib, and the long-standing American tradition of offering an interminable supply of the wholesome, the sturdy, the family-friendly, the all-you-can-eat. Inside, the vibe is off. A teenager who looks like someone's cool but dubious 80s stepdad, permed mullet, crustache, and strange gleam in his eye, asks us what we want to drink. I order a Dr. Pepper and focus on the 23 flavorful gifts it offers instead of the 23 versions of weird I'm noticing in front of me. Then we pay for our choke and puke experience and are released to stuff ourselves into cushy oblivion. I wander from station to station in search of answers, but find wilted taco fixings and sticky piles of noodles instead. Everywhere it smells like mistakes made and then masked in hotel rooms, like dried urine and the sweat of anxious bodies christened with piney chemicals, especially near the vicinity of our booth, the one that looks out on the turnpike, all those cars making a run for it, while we stay put in our sad people mess hall. I beeline for the chicken and dumplings. I scoop up turnip greens as a safe bet. I submerge them in Texas Pete hot sauce and convince myself I'm prioritizing my health, otherwise known as losing my 40-plus pooch belly thing. I return to our booth to find my dad with a tower of medium rare meats and my stepmom with a petite mound of salad. While we eat, we debate the best cheap beers, Modelo versus PBR, and talk briefly about our work days, but mostly we masticate in silence. We inhale the fruits of our desire and free will, savor their blandness. When we finally exhale, we remark that they taste like hospital food, like prison food, like the school cafeteria offerings of our past. We laugh at how terrible our dinner is and then proceed to head back for more. I'm fascinated by the heart's struggle to remain content with any one thing, even when there are no other choices within permissible reach. But I'd like to stop experiencing it firsthand. Am I restless or just greedy? Am I voracious or just morally malnourished? Maybe that's why my dad brought me here. Not because he's haggard and surrendering to a somber fate, but because the choke and puke is a place I can simulate the act of entertaining each and every choice I've ever considered to my heart's content. It's pretty low stakes if you aren't worried about E. coli. The concept of all you can eat offers quick and dirty absolution for the masses. Endless but sick everything for one affordable price without consequence. We Americans love our guilt-free choices of plenty. Variety is the vice of life, and I know this well. Like any of my fellow choke and pukers, I want endless possibilities. I want the latest options. I want to know they're there, even if they're toxic, unappealing, and not at all what would fulfill me. I've always been this way, a fevered acolyte of the seemingly endless. Give me your many, your sundry, your new, the new fast food sandwich, the new energy drink and assorted fanciful flavors, the new clothes and shoes, the new film, album, or prestige television series that definitely won't change my life, but will distract and divert and seemingly defy the laws of time so I can forget everything but the simplicity of my soul for a little while. Give me the new me, the new you, the new world, the new way of being, of seeing, of dreaming, of loving, the new. Give me all the newest of the new so I don't have to think of the old and the obsolete and the expired and the discontinued and the long gone, never to return. So maybe I do think a little bit about dying. On the ride home, my belly full, but my inner world still undone, I reflect on what my dad taught me in the hollowed space of the Golden Corral. To choke and puke is to participate in a transcendental act. It is to breathe, to access, to taste the infinite, to live at the brink, to know you're alive, but soon will be dead. The Golden Corral is memento mori in edible form. One way or another, I'll have to let it all go. The food and the rest of it. Whatever grueling choices I make now, and however much suffering they might yield, the final one awaits me like an empty plate in a dining room where there's nothing left to serve. And that is it.
Fuck, that was excellent. I think we're all like staying up and all tired and like, oh, that like stirred everyone on. It made me think of like when I was growing up, we went to like this cafeteria called Luby's. It's no longer around in Tulsa, and like now it's like a Planet Fitness.
Yeah, everything turns into a Planet Fitness. What was it called? Boobies?
Luby's.
Oh.
It was like a cafeteria for like elderly people.
Oh yeah, there used to be a Morrison's cafeteria that was in malls a lot.
Mm-hmm. Alexandra, did you have any? You guys were talking about in the chat about like cafeterias or something. So Hobart took this?
Yeah, I as one does on Twitter was like, does anyone want to take this essay I just wrote about the Golden Corral? And Hobart reached out to me and they were like, send it our way. That's the end of the story. It just felt like something. I was in an existential crisis like a year and a half ago. So yeah.
When your book came out?
My book came out a little bit after that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And that solved everything because when your book comes out, it solves all your issues.
Life really falls into place.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Well,
I agree with Alexandra. This is the late I've been up in a year too.
Well, I want to thank everyone for coming. If you feel like you need to go, you feel free to leave at anytime. But like I really enjoyed everyone. Thank you for coming to this reading. If you're gonna do the Guy Fieri thing, like everyone like was a different ingredient into like a bigger meal or something. This was really enjoyable. Now, would you ever put like a book of essays together with like that in there?
Yeah, I don't want to say too much, but I'm trying to do that. But I have another work in progress that I feel like I should finish first. But yes, I would love to do that.
Do you think Hobart's imprint would publish it?
I don't know.
They probably would.
Yeah, they might. Does she do essays? I guess she does.
Yeah, she they published Women by Chloe Cadwell, and that was a nonfiction.
Oh yeah.
I
But
think
it's-
most of Elizabeth Ellen's work is nonfiction, I think.
Yes, but she posits that it's fiction or presents it, markets it as fiction.
Yeah. Auto fiction, whatever.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing a teaching a workshop?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to. I tried to, and then it was like, I guess at the time that I did it in August, it was like people were going on summer vacation, and I didn't feel like I had enough participants to make it meaningful. But you know what? I think Casey Joe was one of the people that wanted to take it, who I don't know if she's still in here. But I said I would do it again in October, and I know we're in October, but maybe in the new year. Yeah, I teach, I do workshops for education as my job. Do all this, the Zoom workshops.
How are those boring or fun?
I love doing them because
Okay.
I work with families and
Uh-huh.
like teach like social emotional learning and other things with them, and I love talking to families, so I like it. I like Alexandra's idea, do a workshop for a writers party 2 weeks after AWP. That's a great idea.
Is
That
everyone?
gives time.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to ask: is everyone here planning on going to AWP?
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Alexandra?
I'm gonna go because it's in Baltimore and it's like a 2-hour drive from Philly. So
Yeah.
I definitely want to go and like do an offsite.
How about
Me
you,
too.
Kirstie?
Oh yeah, AWP has me.
They asked
All
you?
all my folks go, can I afford to go? Never. But am I going? Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
I'm
Maybe
looking
do-
forward to it.
You guys should do like a panel.
Panel. Those are unbelievably hard to get into.
yeah.
I was part of an application for one last year that was like really soundly done and had a couple of like writers that were also academics on it. And we still got rejected. And it was like a really thorough like application, and it was really well done. It was very smartly done by people much smarter than I am. And like they're really hard to get into, man. So
Or you could do an offsite one, do a House of Vlad panel with
Oh,
Jillian and Alexandra.
I've done a panel. That's a good idea, actually. Sometimes I think those might be more interesting than readings, depending. That's something for us to consider, Kirstie. We'll talk. I like fake AWP panels. Yeah, that is a good, yeah.
I love the idea of a fake panel. I love the idea of a fake panel.
Me too.
It's like I've been to some of those panels, and oh my god.
Are they really boring?
They're just, how am I going to be like kind about this? They're just like so much more structured and like more formal than the like raucous energy of an offsite where people get to like really vibe and buzz with things. And like I sometimes feel for the people doing the panels because I'm like, I don't know how you make that more exciting or more like more of a vibe. I don't know, because I just don't think that the structure lends itself to that. I think that it's extremely formal in a way that the best of your AWP experience is not. It's like it's better to be kind of authentic and off the cuff and things like that. And so like the idea of a fake panel that just gets like loose with stuff, I think is, I think that's a good idea.
Jillian, are you going?
I'm going.
Or Jennifer, are you going?
Maybe. So
Maybe.
probably, maybe.
It's pretty far from BC.
Yeah, well, I'm in Calgary, so Alberta, but yeah.
Oh,
it
I
is-
didn't know you were in Calgary.
Yeah, it's a ways still,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, so that's a hike for sure. Why did I not know
Yeah.
you were in Calgary? I'm sorry. I thought you were in BC.
No, it's I'm close to the mountains. I think so. I post mountain
That's
stuff, which
probably
is
it.
usually everybody associates with BC, even though Alberta has lots of mountains. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think I'm definitely gonna try and go this year. I went last year and I had a lot of fun, so I would like to go again this year. But it's hard. We've got kids and like 5 pets, and like it's a lot. So
But
we'll see.
what I will say about AWPs is it feels like, and this is what I've heard from other people who have done it longer than I have as well, is that the less attended or like the kind of like slept on cities tend to be more